When I'm not, well, the question is what am I geeking out on when I'm not on Verge time? And there really isn't a time that I'm not on Verge time. Like I'm so fascinated by systems that, and I think pretty much anybody that comes to a permaculture design course comes out the back end of one of those programs and is obsessed with systems as well. And so when I'm not checking email or working on the computer, specifically working on Verge related tasks, I walk around this property and I just try and get myself into a state of mind that allows me to open up for the feedback of the land, and tries to give me clues as to what the land wants to be, what the land could be, and how I can partner with this energy force that exists on this property. And it can be pretty mechanistic, like trying to understand how to best use gravity. So like placing maple trees on a hill in such a way that the syrup that flows out of them, or the sap that flows out of them, will end up going downhill. It can be trying to understand how to manage water so that it doesn't create liabilities in some of the things that we've created, and in fact it actually enhances the ecosystem. One thing right now that I am absolutely completely obsessed with are the beavers on my land. Like, I go and see them almost daily, and I look at how they're constructing their dam, where they're placing their sticks, how they're molding the land, where they're moving water, even like how they're harvesting the trees. And I've read that beavers actually farm the trees, and so they'll actually select for certain species of trees and certain age of trees, because they want to manage their farmland so that they have enough trees, because they eat the bark, they eat the cambium layer, which is the material that exists right underneath this layer right here. There's a green layer that moves all the sap and sugar, the water and the sugars, water up, sugar down. And so, yeah, it's really interesting to see how beavers manage the land. And there's this one beaver dam that just went in last year, started going in last year, and it's still getting bigger this year after the winter. And I swear to God, like, these beavers have probably harvested 1 million gallons of water just in the the water pressure they've placed against the banks, and that's just all infiltrating into the land. The clarity of the water coming through the creek as a result of their activities, because they don't just build one dam. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they get progressively smaller after a certain time. The clarity of water, like, beavers will purify water better than any technology that humans can do. They actively manage a dam better than I could ever actively manage an earthen dam that I would build on my property. And so trying to understand, for me, like, how they work, but also why we as a species have demonized them, and where the disconnection lies, what that paradigm looks like right now, and why people have seen them as a threat as opposed to an ally, and what sorts of actions that we can take as a small family here in Alberta to slowly start to change that narrative. And I have no idea what that looks like, but that's what's been going through my head a lot in the last few months.